Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Hope everybody doing well. Hope everything's going well with everybody. Um, man, I'm just excited of being back on for another episode and looking forward to having a conversation with people tonight. And hey, I hope all is well. I hope everything is going well with everybody, and I hope everybody enjoying this nice warm weather that we got going on here. I know things have been a lot cooler. I know it's dropped here. Backing up in New York up north of New York, they're getting a lot of snow, lake effect snow. So got that going on. But besides all that, man, I'm back. Glad that we back on. Looking forward to the conversation tonight. And just looking forward to, I really appreciate it. I've been doing this for a while now, episode 201, and we've been going strong, sharing this with a few people. As I share this, man, we're going to get on with it and, let it rock. But again, I hope all is well with everybody and everything is going well. Again, man, Thanksgiving, happy belated Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope everybody had a good time. Was able to spend some time with some families and friends, and I hope all was well. Thanksgiving is probably like my favorite, just for the food, but then Christmas too, just spending time with people. But tonight won't be before you long. But I wanted to come on tonight and have a real good discussion. And the conversation, I think, is a very fitting conversation. Make sure you let me know where you're tuning in from, where you're watching from, so we can have a discussion, open and honest discussion. But tonight conversation is one. And what we're talking about tonight is just because you don't want to accept the truth about you doesn't mean others shouldn't tell you. And I was spurred to talk about that because a lot of people don't like people to tell them the truth about themselves, even though they know the truth about themselves. And just because you don't want to accept it, that doesn't mean that other people shouldn't tell you. It's like you ask for an opinion, but then you get mad when people offer their opinion or their observation about who you are. And we got to work on that. Just because I'm telling you, just because you don't want to accept the truth, that don't stop the world from telling you. That don't stop other people from telling you. And a lot of us, we walk around and we get so defensive about it. But the reality is it boils down to our level of maturity and what we can handle and what we can't handle. And that's a sad, honest truth. But at the end of the day, it's on you. Nobody care that you don't want to accept the truth about you. Just because you don't want to accept the truth about you, that doesn't mean that other people shouldn't tell you the truth. Because if they don't, they're failing you. I mean, that's what it is. And I know it's a thing, but one of the things is, we all know somebody that don't like somebody to tell them the truth. And just because they don't like it, they feel like other people shouldn't tell them the truth about them. They feel like everybody should accept everything about them. They feel like everybody should accept their ways and cater towards them instead of them taking a look in the mirror and listening to what people telling them the truth about themselves. I'm not talking about if somebody disagreeing with you, because some people just ain't gonna like you. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the truth about you. We all have ways. We all have flaws. We all have some good ways. We all have some bad ways. And if somebody coming to you and telling you the truth about you, especially those that have to deal with you on the intimate level, you should be open and honest to hearing what they have to say about you and not be so defensive. And that's one of the things. And if you automatically get defensive on everything, and I get some stuff, but everything, that shows that you're immature and you're emotionally immature and not willing to deal with the reality of you. And that's just what that is. Yep, you're right. Tell me the truth. It might make me a better person. And, that's a real good point. But, the sad reality is, this is sad, but many people don't want the truth. They already know the truth. They don't desire to be better. They desire to be comfortable. And that's why so many people get offended and get mad when people tell them the truth about themselves. They just want to stay comfortable. They want to stay in their comfort zone because their comfort zone is what they done invested all their time, energy, and effort into building so that they can feel comfortable. But if you tell them the truth, like my uncle said, tell you the truth because the truth might make you a better person. Some people just don't desire to be a better person. What they desire to do is just simply stay right there where they at, and they want everybody else around them to cater to them to make them feel comfortable enough that you don't bring up the truth or you don't point it out to them. Because 9 times out of 10, they already know what's going on. You don't really have to tell somebody something bad about themselves. Most people, what they do is they convince themselves and they lie to themselves so much to where they suppress it so that they don't have to deal with it and they overlook it. And that shows a real lot about who they are. It really do. I mean, that's 100% what it is. And when you sit down and think about it, and I was doing some research, but what it showed me was, if you look up the narcissist and you look up what makes up a narcissist, and you start to looking at people that don't like you to tell them the truth about themselves, many times they would exhibit narcissistic characteristics. And the reason why they do that is they have an overinflated sense of self. And the reason why they have an overinflated sense of self is that's their coping mechanism for them not dealing with the reality of who they are. It doesn't matter what you bring it to them. They'll take whatever you tell them as an attack on them. And it's not an attack on them. And the reason why it's not an attack on them, if you just telling them about something, like you're not attacking who they are, if you telling them about their behavior. Because the reason why they take it as you attacking them, because their behavior is tied to who they think they are, who they feel like they're presenting themselves to be. So that's why they respond in the way that them feeling like they're attacked when you go to them and tell them the truth about themselves. That's 100% the reason why they do it. I mean, 100% the reason why they do it. And it's a sad reality. And like my mom said, and I do want to point out, one of the major things people do who don't want you to tell the truth about themselves is, number one, they will deflect. They are going to deflect at all costs. They're going to deflect, and they're going to try to turn it around on you. They'll try to play the role of the victim, or they'll try to deflect it and put it on something else. They'll look at it and they'll be like, well, they'll get upset about not what you said, but they'll be like, oh, it's how you said it. And I can understand that to a degree on an intimate level, if you have an intimate relationship. But if somebody's simply just telling you the truth and you don't want to hear it, they ain't responsible for you feeling offended by them telling you the truth about the reality of you. You took offense to it because you didn't want to hear it. And that's on you. That is not on anybody else. And people will react that way and they'll deflect. The number one reaction is deflection, because deflection is their attempt to get the spotlight off of them so they don't have to address and deal with themselves. That's what that is. And, you know, the sad truth is that's a reality that many people have to deal with. That's a reality that many of us have to deal with. And you know, there are so many people, many of us have to deal with folks in our lives who just don't want to hear the truth about themselves. We have to work with people who don't want to hear the truth about themselves. And when you have to be around and deal with those people are very hard to be around. And they're very irritating. And the reason why they're hard to be around and irritating is because everything to them, they're always the victim. They'll come to you and complain about what everybody else is doing, but never tell you the truth about who they are. And when you bring them the truth about them, now they're just emotionally distraught and destroyed because they feel like you're attacking them. And you simply telling them what they already know, but they're refusing to deal with it and run from it. They hate that accountability that comes with them being presented with who they are. And it's like you showing them a mirror. And when you show them the mirror, nah, that ain't me. You this, that, and the third. No, I'm just showing you the mirror of your behavior, your actions. And they will not accept it because they refuse to take accountability. That's what that is. My mom said, William Churchill said, the price of greatness is accountability. And that's what it is. Like, one thing about it, and this one thing that I'm appreciative that I've learned from the people that my grandparents and the people that I've been around. But one thing you have to understand is you cannot get to the next level. You cannot grow. There will be no growth without accountability. There will be no growth without accountability. That's why I know to have something that's efficient and is good is have an accountability partner, or have some structure in there, a structure that has accountability in it, because it holds you accountable to something you say you're going to do. You know why you won't have growth without accountability? Is because we can lie to ourselves so much, but especially convincing ourselves to not do something that we don't want to do. Think about it and just be honest with it. There's some stuff we're motivated by doing, but there's a lot of stuff we just don't want to do. There's a lot of stuff I just don't want to do. And having somebody there to hold me accountable, accountability partner, really helped me just get up, man. I don't feel like going to the gym, but hey, I got somebody that I told I was going to work out with. So I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to the gym with them. See, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. But in life, how many people are, and there are going to be people be like, oh, I can do it by myself. But nah, the reality is that's not true. My mom said accountability feels like an attack when you're not ready to acknowledge how your own behaviors harm others. And this is the thing. That's why I say that, you know, when we sit down and think about it, there's a lot of people that will do their actions or their behavior cause discomfort, frustration, and harm to other people. And as long as you don't hold them accountable to it, they're going to continue to do what they do. And they're going to feel like you are the one. They're going to try to always play the role of a victim to avoid accountability. But their behaviors is the ones that's causing frustration with everybody else. They're the person that's moody for no reason. They're the person that get irritated when you start to hold them accountable. They want the freedom to operate however they want to operate, but they don't want the accountability to come with it. And those people are emotionally unhealed people. And the reason why I say that is because when you sit down and you peel that onion back, you'll find out that those same people are ones that will always refuse accountability. They will always play the role of a victim, and they will deflect by any means necessary just so they won't be held accountable. We got some comments. You're right. Hey, Modest, how you doing? She said, or emotional blackmail, play the victim. Yep. Flo, what's up, Flo? Flo said shapeshifters. They always defend who they show you. They will defend it, even when it's wrong. I'm talking about even when it's wrong. Miss Franklin, Lena Franklin said, people don't like when you share the truth. And often we deflect the truth too, because it is often to be honest with them. Yes, ma'am. We often get blamed and gave to be strong enough to speak the truth. The mirror should see me as an honest person showing my integrity. I agree with what you're saying. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But yeah, this is the truth, man. And I'm talking about this because so many of us, we deal with these people, and these people aren't easy to deal with. And one of the things about it, and I know it's a reality that a lot of people don't like, but it is what it is. But the world don't care about if you want to accept the truth about who you are. Like we want to condition it like we should give permission to other people to accept that we should get to a space where we feel like that other people have the right to tell us the truth about ourselves. No, if they got to interact with you, they got to deal with your energy, they got to deal with your attitude, they got to deal with who you are as a person. Like they need to be able to tell you the truth, and you should not be so darn sensitive and hear what these people saying, because they're the ones that are coming to you. And because most of the people that invest enough to tell you the truth about you are those people that really care about you. The other people, they don't care about you. They'll let you out there flapping to the wind and let everybody else talk about you. But the people that come to you are the ones that these people will attack the most, because they are too sensitive to take the time to just deal with the reality of who they are. You the one tripping, not everybody else. So deal with you. Deal with you. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, right, you're right, Andre. When you hold them accountable, they feel like you're attacking. You know, think about this. And I'm going to say this. How you doing? How you doing? She said, Ms. Coleman said, you are speaking the truth. It's that behavior that has been unchecked. And listen, I will tell you this, and this is one thing that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but what it is. But many times what we got to do as parents, as family members, we are the ones that are responsible for cultivating a lot of people having this mindset, because we don't hold them accountable. We see them operate out of pocket. We allow them to operate this way, and they feel like this okay. No, tell them folks the truth about themselves, especially on some stuff, man. I ain't got to deal with you. I don't have to deal with your attitude. I don't have to deal with your bad behavior. I don't have to deal with you. And I can tell you the truth in love. I ain't coming at you trying to attack you. I ain't coming at you trying to belittle you. That's not my approach. But I don't care if you don't want to hear it. That ain't going to stop me from telling you just because you don't want to hear it. because you ain't stopping your behavior that I got to deal with, that I'm subjected to. So why do you think I'm being subjected to your opinion about if you want me to tell you the truth about you? I am going to tell you the truth about you. And if you don't want to hear it, then guess what? You ain't going to be around me because I'm going to make sure that you don't have access to me. Facts. Oh, you're right. Sound like an elected fish I heard about. No, I'm just saying, I just wanted to talk about that because that's the God honest truth. If we sit down and think about it, you know, we so many times, man, it's so much stuff out there that we have to deal with, but we shouldn't. And I will tell you this, man, stop dealing with people who just have an attitude or respond negatively to you telling them the truth about them when you are the one that is impacted by their behavior. They're the ones acting crazy. They're the ones with the attitude. They're the ones with the behavior issues. And you tell them, hey, man, how you act on this or how you respond to this, that ain't right. And they get an attitude with you. Right? Guess what? You ain't got to accept that. You don't have to deal with them. I could care less about if you want to hear the truth because you don't give me permission to tell you the truth about who you are when the truth about who you are is impacting me negatively. That's just what that is. And so many people feel like that they just have the right to control if somebody gonna tell them the truth. Just because you don't want to hear it, that don't mean that I'm not gonna tell you. And that's the God honest truth. And so many people get upset about it, but guess what? Hashtag not my problem. That's their problem to deal with. That's 100% their problem. And you not wanting to accept the truth, man, that's good. I'll tell you this. People don't like it, but one thing about it is you just because you don't want to accept the truth, that doesn't change the fact of that it is true about what somebody's telling you. Just because you don't want to accept it, that does not change the validity of the truth in which somebody present to you. So because a lot of people try to convince themselves that, well, I don't want to accept it, so it ain't true. No, it's true. Especially, I'm not talking about people, quote unquote, hating on you or people coming at you sideways. I'm talking about people that have to deal with you on a day-to-day basis. People that have to deal with that are directly impacted by your behavior, by your attitudes, by your ways. Right? That's who I'm speaking on. And for those people, just because you don't want to hear it, that doesn't change the fact that it is true. So get over yourself, like for real. Like, honestly, get to a space and a level of maturity where you're getting over yourself so you can deal with the reality of you and start changing for the better. Like, seriously, start changing for the better. Because that right there is something that I've seen, I've witnessed, I've worked with people, and a lot of these people try to hide behind their positions at work, hide behind certain things. No, deal with you. Like so many people, man, listen, it's so many people. It's a sad truth, but it is what it is. But there are so many people who die and stay at a level that they could have easily elevated from, all because they refuse to accept the truth about who they are. And they stay at these levels and they get irritated, and internally they don't say anything, but they get jealous of other people who are elevating, but they don't see that those other people are putting in that work to deal with, and they're accepting the truth about themselves, and they're dealing with the reality of who they are. And they get elevated on levels, and they get elevated to do things that the same people are way more gifted at doing. But because they put in the work to deal with themselves, those people die at a lower level, all because they refuse to deal with the truth about themselves. Now, you can try to paint it and you can try to portray it however you want to portray it to the masses. But at the end of the day, you got to deal with you. And so many people die at lower levels without ever dealing with them because they refuse to accept the truth about themselves. They get mad, they get offended, they start attacking, they start doing, and you know, one of the funniest thing is people will sit around and do any and everything just to try to keep from dealing with the reality of who they are. They will create a whole lie, a whole persona, a whole everything, just so they can live under the perception or the projection of being this one thing, all because they refuse to deal with the reality of who they are. And somebody come tell them the truth. And when you people tell them the truth, the first thing they hear, they take it as an attack because they are not ready to deal with the reality of who they are. These people know their behaviors. They know how they act. They know what they do. But as soon as somebody say something to them straightforward about, hey, man, you know how you are? That's wrong, bro. You know how you are. Hey, you be moody. You doing this, that, and the third. You moving wrong. They'll sit around and try to take it like you're attacking them, but they won't even look at the fact that you always been there supporting them. You always been there. You always been consistent, been there supporting them, and always had their best interests at heart. But that's just how they roll. That's how some of them roll. And we see people like that, and it's sad. But at the end of the day, it's their problem. It is their 100% their problem. 100%. But, man, I thank you guys so much for rocking with your boy, man. We're at episode 201. We've been going strong for over 4 years. Man, I really appreciate the comments, appreciate the interaction. I pray that you guys come rock with your boy, man, on social media platforms here. You see on the Conversation 98 YouTube, on the Conversation 98 on Instagram, at 98 Conversation on Twitter, the Conversation 98 on Facebook, and the Conversation 98 the Conversation _98 on TikTok. Man, we will continue to do it. And just understand, man, one thing about it, you don't have to give access to these people if they're not going to appreciate or accept the fact that, you know, you dealing with them. Though nobody want to be around. Yeah, they all play victim. They all play the victim. They play the victim quick, fast, and in a hurry. They play the victim, and then not only do they play the victim, they want to act like they'll act like they being attacked. And I've gotten to a space where I'm not dealing with that. I'm just not dealing with that. If that's how the energy that you want to roll with, I'm not subjecting myself to be around that energy. I'm not subjecting myself around anybody that don't want to hear the truth about them, especially if your behavior negatively impacts me in any way or those that are around me. So, man, I hope you guys have a great and wonderful week. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys later. God bless.